Dear students, welcome back to our English class. We were dealing with the fourth unit, Dawn of Hope, in which the first lesson, The Jungle Air Crash. It's a narrative of Julian Kopke. We had seen that Julian Kopke and her mother started from Lima to spend a Christmas with their father in the jungle hut. And we know that Julian was just 17 who had completed the secondary school. So they wanted to spend a lot of time in the jungle where they carried out their researches. As Julian Kopke loved flying, they boarded Lhasa Airline Flight 508. And they started their journey. It was an excellent one in the beginning. People were chatting, enjoying, but suddenly everything changed. There was a violent shaking and the plane crashed. She heard her mother saying, "Now it's over," and the next moment she was flying down out of the plane and she can't remember anything. She just reached a jungle and became unconscious. Let us see the summary of the rest of the lesson. On the third day, she heard the sounds of vultures, and she knew that usually vultures can be seen around the dead bodies. So the sound made her to think so. She came across some of the destructed part of aeroplane, but she could not find any survivor. During afternoon, she heard the noise of aircraft engine. She yelled, "Hello, help, help," knowing that it is useless. She believed that they might be quite near, but they did not spot her. Then the noise faded and she again became alone. She was not disheartened. She could walk and wasn't hungry and also could drink the water from the clear stream. On the fourth day, she finished the sweets, the only nourishment she had. Mosquitoes and horseflies had pricked her and made swellings in her body. Armies of ants marched, blocked her way, and she struggled a lot to avoid them. She could cover only a few hundred meters an hour because her condition was miserable. Her streams did not run into larger rivers. As she moved along its banks, she saw parrots, monkeys, hummingbirds, varieties of tiny orchids growing on tree trunks. It was amazing that she wasn't hungry. She did not have delicious looking fruits because she had a thought that beautiful and tempting looking fruits may be poisonous. According to her, jungle is a trap and it is a battlefield in which rot and growth match hand in hand. All the plants are competing to get the sunlight, shock each other, and then very hungrily have the cadavers of their victim in order to live. There was an open wound on her foot, which was getting worse due to the infection by insects. Every time the flies shrink and lay eggs in her wounds, she watched them attacking her helplessly. Each one was about a centimeter long and was eating her lively. She believed that God will help her. They will amputate if she ever survived. The river she followed was wide, and whenever she gets a good view ahead, she risked swimming. It was very fast that the flow of water carried her along. On land, she had to be more careful to watch where to put her feet because she is frightened that there may be snakes hidden in the decayed leaves of the trees and the poisonous thorn black crabs. If she walk on a crab, it is sure that she will die. Now, let's have a model reading. On the third day, I heard vultures. Where there are vultures, there are usually bodies. I came upon a piece of airplane fuselage and saw twisted cables. The place stank of burnt fuel, but I could find no survivors. During the afternoon, I heard the noise of aircraft engines. I knew it was senseless, but I yelled, "Hello, help," over and over again. They must have been quite near. though I never saw them, and of course they didn't spot me. Then the noise of the planes faded, and I was again alone. But I was not disheartened. I could walk, I wasn't hungry, and I could drink from the clear stream. On my fourth day, I finished the sweets, the only nourishment I had. I was swollen from the stink of mosquitoes and horseflies. Here and there, armies of ants on the march blocked my path, and struggling through the tangled undergrowth to avoid them, I covered only a miserable few hundred meters an hour. However, my stream did run into a larger river. As I pressed on downstream along its bank, I saw parrots, monkeys, and hummingbirds, and many varieties of tiny orchids growing on tree trunks. Amazingly, I wasn't hungry. I resisted delicious looking fruit because here many things that look beautiful and tempting are poisonous. The jungle is full of traps, and it is a battlefield on which rot and growth march hand in hand. All the plants compete, steal sunlight from each other, choke each other, and then hungrily consume the cadavers of their victims in order to live. The open wound on my foot was getting worse due to infection by insects. Every time the flies stung, they were laying eggs in my wounds, out of which were hatching maggots. Helplessly, I watched them emerge. Each one was about a centimeter long. They were eating me alive. God help me, I thought. They will amputate if I ever survive. The river that I painstakingly followed was widening. Whenever I could get a good view ahead, I risked swimming. It was faster because the current carried me along. On land, I picked my way, careful to watch where I put my feet because the rotting foliage could conceal a snake or a poisonous thorn. Back crab. If you tread on a crab, I told myself, you are done for. Now, learn the meaning of new words and understand it. Fuselage means the main part of airplane. Stank means unpleasant smell. Stink means a small, sharp, pointed organ at the end of insects. Tangled undergrowth means twisted trees. Tempting means having an urge to do something. Cadavers means dead bodies. Victim means a person harmed or injured. Maggots means soft body, legless larva of a fly or insects. Amputate means cut off by surgical operation. Rotting foliage means decayed leaves. Foliage means collective leaves. Thread means walk in a specific